Union. My name is Brita Moore. I am the Director of PR and Communications here. And as you might know, Farmers Union has long been invested in the cooperative model. It's one of our sides of the triangle. Yep. And nowadays, Minnesota is one of the top states for having food co-ops, especially in the Twin Cities like Mississippi Market, the Wedge, Linden Hills. And co-ops are really important in our food economy because the farmers who sell to them, they make sure they get a fair price, and they're good for communities because they provide not only jobs but are a model for justice and democracy. I'm a member of Mississippi Market in St. Paul, and I've always appreciated the way that we can vote on our board and how the co-op is governed, as well as the fact that they put emphasis on buying local, Minnesota, Wisconsin grown, Iowa, and can point to you exactly where it's coming from and that it's sustainably grown. So as governor, if you're elected, how will you work to ensure cooperatives remain a source of affordable, locally grown food for all Minnesotans and are a model for justice and democracy in our economy and our culture?
One of the most powerful things, again, should Peggy and I be given the privilege of doing this job, is it's a platform to advocate for the things that you care about. And again, I've seen this, if you have a governor that decides that they don't like teachers, it's pretty miserable teaching under those conditions. I have lived under that. If you have one that likes it and promotes it, you start to see changes in that. And I think one of the biggest jobs of governor is to be the state's cheerleader for the things that work, and our co-ops are the shining example. And those who at one time thought that these were kind of niche things or whatever, good luck finding people saying that now, whether it's the St. Peter Co-op, or if many of you in here, have anybody been to the Rochester Co-op recently in here? Yeah, so big fans of what they're doing. But it's very difficult once you participate in a co-op to then go anywhere else because of the diversity, the sense of community, the quality of the foods that you're getting. It's changing the entire model of food delivery. And I think any of us in here, I oftentimes struggle with this as a member of the Agriculture Committee, of this traditional row cropping versus organic as a niche. They're different things, but there's plenty of room in this playing field. What we need to make sure, and your question on this one was, as governor of Minnesota, making sure there's a level playing field for our co-ops to be able to compete, making sure that we're using and incentivizing anything to make that happen, and making sure as the state's top cheerleader that people are seeing us and telling the stories about how great they are, how much the money, I mean, that economic wheel, from the spending of the dollar and the hands that it transfers through, is very, very tight when co-ops are involved. It stays very close to home, and as you heard earlier, generates the multiple growth that comes out of it. So we're certainly excited about them. I, for one, am certainly, always proud to go. But listening to you of ways to make it more accessible is important. And I think the interesting thing about co-ops and the sense of community that it builds, those of you familiar with the St. Peter Co-op, and it's very popular, there's always a debate just 15 miles down the road is Mankato. And what I think is really great is most of the folks who love the St. Peter Co-op, who drive from Mankato to go to it, are perfectly comfortable saying, you know what, this model works really well right now, that we're okay not doing one here because we're working with the community that's already there and the markets that they did, of thinking not just in our own backyard, but thinking of the interconnectedness between our communities. And what's really happening, and we have to understand, is these hub cities like Rochester or a Mankato or Alexandria, whatever it might be, and the implications to the smaller communities that surround them. And co-ops are really great because they're buying from those locals, they're coming in, and they're drawing from a broader area.